Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Codex Reviews. My name is Tim the Terrible. This beautiful person next to me is none other than Precious. Precious, what are we reviewing?
We are reviewing Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
The Woman of Tomorrow. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at that trade paperback cover right there. I'm going to go ahead and give you some credits here, and then Precious is going to give us a synopsis of what the story's about, and then we are going to deep dive into this and give you our rating on what we feel about Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. So, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is written by Tom King with artwork by Bilquis Evely, colors by Mathis Lopez, and letters by Clayton Cowles. All right, Precious, give us a rundown of this story.
Okay, so the book is told by Ruthie, who she's the narrator through the whole entire series. And it begins with her father getting killed by Krem,
Mm-hmm.
who comes to her farm, and she lives on a rock farm. And so she is very distraught. She's
Yeah.
very upset. And she goes to try and find a bounty hunter to hunt him and kill him. Well, she ends up running into Supergirl, yeah.
Yeah.
And they end up teaming up together. I'm not going to give all of the details, but they end up teaming up together and um, trying to hunt him down.
Yeah.
And it's such a great team up because she's telling the story, and then they end up going to all these different planets
Mm-hmm.
that I can even imagine, and just trying to find him. And then they find out that he ends up teaming up with,
The Brigands.
yes.
Yeah.
So then they start going to figuring out like their pattern and where they're going to, and they come across a lot of civilizations that they get to see the damage and the murder caused by them.
Yeah.
So it's a great, great story. I'm not going to spoil the end.
Okay, so how Ruthie and Supergirl meet, they meet in this bar, right?
Yeah.
Her
Yep.
birthday, she's celebrating her 21st birthday,
Mm-hmm.
and so everybody knows, the yellow sun gives her and her cousin Superman the powers that they have. When they go to planets with different types of suns, their powers can decrease or increase or go away completely depending upon the color of the sun. The color of the sun at this planet allows her to be able to get drunk and all of that stuff, and she's got crypto with her too, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me how you felt about this story when you read it, because I got a lot of things that I want to say, and I'm pretty sure you do too. How did you feel about it? How did you feel when you read it? How did you feel after it was finished?
Okay, so while I was reading it, now I am trying to catch up on comic books of where we are to now, and I haven't really read a lot. So, Supergirl, I don't really know her background story. I don't know a whole lot about that.
Yeah.
Like I've seen a couple Superman movies, but nothing too in depth.
Right.
So when I read this, I loved it. I love her origin, the origin story that they tell. I want a story just on that. It was so amazing. I was reading it while we were in the car going on a road trip,
Yeah.
and I was telling Jamie, and I was like, I just want this. I want this story, but I want it way more detailed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. So what else did you feel when you were reading this? Because like when I read this, I had never read it until today when we were doing the review.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I waited until today specifically because I wanted to still have all of those feelings and all of that. When I got done with this, I think the exact words out of my mouth were, "Holy crap. This was amazing." Like, I got up from my computer after reading it, and I had to walk around for a minute. It was one of those stories, like, certain comic book titles will do that to you, right? And other ones won't. This one, I had to let it saturate. I had to let it settle for a little bit. Couldn't do nothing else after that. Drink a cup of coffee, just enjoyed quiet time for a minute and reflected on this book. Did you do that too? Like, when you finished
Yes,
this, like that for you?
the end, oh, I'm not gonna say the end, but it was such an amazing ending. I loved it. It was the perfect way to end the book.
Yeah. And so these were introductions to characters for you, but for
Yeah.
those of you that have read this before, seeing Crypto there and seeing, the unicorn or the horse that she rode on, Comet, those are older characters, right? And they have their own backstories and everything like that. For me, seeing things like that, that was a warm surprise, like seeing Crypto there, Supergirl sitting there at the bar, she's drinking, Ruthie is talking to this barbarian to try and get him to help her. He's gonna take advantage of her and take the sword and go and do whatever he wants to, and the whole time Supergirl's like, "Nope, nope, nope, wait a minute, you don't wanna do that, just leave her alone, just give me the sword, I'm gonna give it back to her." Crypto's just kinda sitting there watching the whole thing, and then when she loosely attacks this dude, just kind of bounces off to the side, right, and
Mhm.
all that stuff, and and later on in the story, when she's being chased by this magical item called a Mordu globe or something like that, Comet is the one that she hops on, and she says to him, "Take me as far and as fast as you can. Take me to the edge of the universe and then a little bit further." I
Mhm.
love that. That got me here. I loved it.
And the reference for that planet, I can't remember what it's
Oh, with
called.
the green sun?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so there was a time in another comic book, in a Superman book, where, I can't remember who did it. Ladies and gentlemen in comment section, please let us know, but they had created this world specifically to trap Superman, and she was talking about how long did she say Superman lasted for?
I wanna say she said 40 minutes?
45 minutes, and
Yes.
that was before the Justice League rescued him.
Yep.
How long did she last in there?
Man, I think it was like 9 or 10 hours?
Yes, exactly. It was the most agonizing pain she had in her life, and Ruthie had to protect her, and it was amazing. You got to see some amazing development and growth of her as a character, and it was wonderful.
I love that growth just in though that little bit of time, it was amazing for that
Yeah.
character.
So okay, Precious, let's dive into the writing. Is this the first time that you've really read anything by Tom King?
I'm not so good with writers. I would like to read a lot,
Yeah,
mainly horror, so
yeah.
maybe?
Did Jamie ever have you read, like, Nice House on the Lake or anything like that?
No.
No, okay. Alright. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're familiar with Tom King, you know that the fan base is kind of polarizing with him. Precious, this is your first real introduction into his work, so give us your thoughts on the writing of this book.
I thought the writing was really good. I for this book at least, I really thought it was really well planned out. The
Mhm.
art, I feel like it was just it came all together, and obviously I read the trade, so I didn't see
Yeah,
issue as an issue, but just having it all together, it was just really, really good.
it fits so well too, didn't it?
Yes,
Ah,
it
so
did.
alright, so what's your rating for the art or for the writing? What would you give it?
A 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm right there with you on that. 10 out of 10. All right, so let's talk about the artwork. Bilquis Evely, the artwork throughout the entire story. Now, I thought that that work was gorgeous. It was exceptionally beautiful, and sitting there and looking at all of this, it had that very detailed world type structure to it. but it was also, well, like, it had the sharp corners in the edges and stuff, but it was also really smooth at times too, and like you said, it helped visually with the flow of this story, and it was just so well done.
It
What did you
was. I
Yeah,
really I think for the art, just, like, to have the creative ability to go from, like, "Oh, this is one planet," to, "Oh, here's another planet.
yeah.
Oh, here's another one." I thought it was amazing. The
What Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the flow between each of them, like, how their adventures took 'em there
Yeah.
through, it was seamless.
Now these 8 issues take place over the course of several months too, right? Because
Yep.
back in the beginning when she meets Ruthie and they come across, Krem, he shoots Supergirl, she gets hit with several arrows, and Crypto gets hit with arrows too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
and Ruthie is on this venge quest to kill Krem. Krem escapes. Supergirl is taken back to this village to get mended, and Crypto, because there was poison on this arrow, is in
Mhm.
dire straits, and Supergirl's all upset about that, and she wants vengeance of her own. So over the course of months, like traveling on space buses and excuse me, sir, I have paid for passage on this spaceship traveler and that grants me certain amenities, including the amount of space required for the seat. You, sir, are invoking that space, and I ask you politely to sit aside. Huh? What? I love that. That was one of my favorite parts. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, okay. So artwork rating, what do you give this?
I give it a 10 out of 10, and to mention about the whole seating, I also thought it was very funny 'cause like I said, I haven't read a whole lot about, like, the supers, but when they would be like, "Oh, you're related to Superman."
Oh my god, yeah, like, what is it? You got that one character so there's the scene where they get off the bus, they've got this waiting period in between, they're traveling in between worlds and things, hunting down Krem, and Supergirl's like, "Let's go get something to eat," and over the intercom, you hear it say, "You've got 15 Zerbfuls before the bus leaves, and if you miss the bus in 15 Zerbfuls, the next bus is 43 light years behind that." So they go and sit down, right? They're eating, and that guy comes up, sticks the gun in her face, and he's like, you Supergirl? You're related to Superman? If you are, I'm honor bound to kill you. Superman put many high people in jail, so I'm here to do that." And she's like, "Do you think I am?" I mean, I've got the S on my chest, I've got the cape, I've got the blue and the red. Who do you think I am? Yeah, it's not a good idea. Pow. It was wonderful. I loved it. All right, so you give it a 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so final thoughts for you on this book. What do you got to say? Like, do you recommend this to everybody? Is this a must read for you? Is this a reread for you?
This is definitely a reread because I feel like you could catch so many more details than just reading it one time.
Yeah.
Another thing that I did want to bring up is From the Ashes, Jean Grey, the Phoenix. I heard that it has a similar beginning where
Ooh,
it's someone else actually telling the story.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so same type of concept.
Yes, I haven't personally read it, but that's what I've heard about the book.
Okay,
So
right on.
I'm interested in reading that one as well.
Isn't it awesome how certain books can, like, open the door for other things for you to just kinda go and want to check out now? That's so
Definitely,
wonderful. Alright, Precious, so you give it a 10-10. You definitely say this is gonna be a reread. Is this gonna be a recommended reading?
definitely.
Yeah? Alright. Alright, so here's my thoughts. The writing, Tom King, I love Tom King's writing. I think I haven't read anything bad from him yet. Now, granted, I haven't read everything, but the things that I have read and what he's doing on Wonder Woman right now, Precious, if you're not reading that, put it on the list. Don't listen to Jamie, just add it and enjoy it. You will love every bit of it. I promise you. And you can get the single issues in the back issue bins, and the trade. The first trade is out right now. Highly recommend. But with Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, this actually flew under the radar. This underperformed for DC, and it wasn't very popular at the time. And it just kind of faded away until James Gunn announced that the Supergirl movie is going to be based off of this. So that piqued my interest. It flew under the radar for me when it came out. I didn't read it. You wanted to read this and recommended doing that, and I happily jumped on that. And I'm so glad that I did, because this story is powerful. It's amazing. It deals with loss. It deals, I mean, with the tragedy of war and slaughter. It deals with racism. It remember the town of the blues and the purples.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and that brings in the brigands and stuff like that. And the brigands go from planet to planet, and their sole purpose, like all they want to do, is destroy. They
Yeah.
want to kill and destroy and maim. And they give towns, not the planet, towns, the opportunity to get out of it, but the cost is incredibly steep. And if they can pay it, then they'll move on to another town and offer the same thing. If they can't, they'll destroy that town and leave. Well, in the book, you have this town filled with blues and purples. The blues are rich. They think they're better than the purples. They force the purples out into these ghetto style towns on the outskirts of the city. Krem is in jail at this time. And while the blues are trying to figure out what to do to save their town, Krem gives them a proposal. He's like, well, just pay him half of the money and send him over to kill the purples and just be done with it. And they agree to that. And the slaughter is unreal. And then there's that scene where Supergirl and Ruthie go to that one planet where Supergirl goes in to watch the videotape of the entire massacre that happened. She was in there for hours and watched every bit of it. The look on her face when she came out of there was surreal.
Mhm.
Yeah, so this book is powerful. It is amazing to look at. It is a wonderful story that left me silent after it was over. It filled me with the like I said, this is one of those stories that after you're done, you're just like, wow, that was really, really good.
Mhm.
That was,
Especially when you learn what Supergirl's intentions originally were.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, and like you said, the origin, right? If you know nothing about Supergirl and you know just surface knowledge, halfway through the book, they go into her origin, and it is very expertly crafted visually and written incredibly well. Yeah, so it gives you everything you need to know in 8 issues. Now, finding these single issues are going to be a little difficult because the price has gone up on those because of the movie and stuff like that. But getting the trade is pretty cheap. And you got that right with you, don't you?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. You want to show that real quick? Yeah. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Yep. So the writing, I give this a 10 out of 10, 100%, 10 out of 10. I'm right there with you. And I'm also right there with you as far as the artwork goes. 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10 book. The computer even agrees. This is a 10 out of 10 book, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a must read. This is going on my short list of best series ever read for the Codex Awards. Yeah. So this is a top,
Wow.
top contender. Yeah. All right. Precious, any last words? Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I don't believe so.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Tim the Terrible. This beautiful person next to me is none other than Precious. We have something for you, ladies and gentlemen. Precious, do you know what that is? No,
Mhm.
it is the socials, ladies and gentlemen, at the Codex Station, your favorite social media platforms, and where we live stream every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, and follow so you don't miss content like this all the time, every time. What are those socials, Precious?
At the Codex station.
There you go. And also, if you want to look too cool for school or almost as cool as I do, head over to thecodexstation.com to get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. Precious, I'm honestly surprised you're not wearing Codex merch right
I know. I keep telling Jamie I want a shirt, I want a hoodie, I need one.
Ladies and gentlemen, answer the call. Put it in the chat. Jamie, get this girl a shirt. Let's go. Thecodexstation.com for all your Codex needs. Get some merch, meet the team, and so much more, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Precious. They know who I am, but who are you? Take us out of here.
My name is Precious, and so are you.
There you go. We'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen.